words of our Lord are so sweet to our ears, though silently whispered and quietly spoken. The words of our Master are songs for our hearts, though silently sung and quietly heard. He tells us be still and remember Him daily. He tells us be kind and forgive. He sings in our hearts with the voices of angels, revealing the reason to live. I am with you always, can't you hear me? I am with you always, you are near me. Dearer than the nearest, dearer than the dearest, I am your very own. I am your very own. The love of our Lord is as vast as the ocean, though silently given and quietly born. The love of our Master is flowing forever, though silently offered and quietly shared. He tells us be still and remember Him daily. He tells us be kind and forgive. He sings in our hearts with the voices of angels, revealing the reason to live. I am with you always, can't you hear me? I am with you always, you are near me. Dearer than the dearest, dearer than the dearest, I am your very own. I am your very own.
ॐ दिक्कालाद्दं अनवच्छिन्नं अनन्तचिन्मात्रमूर्तये स्वानुभूतये गुमानाय नमः शान्ताय तेजसे. I salute the Supreme Brahman, effulgent and tranquil, the embodiment of infinite consciousness alone, who is beyond all qualities, undivided by space, time, directions, and object, and whose proof is one's own experience only. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Good morning. Today our topic is the anthem of the infinite. What I will try to do a little bit, that will be that what is infinite, what is its anthem, and what's the relationship between that anthem and that infinite. That is, why do we care about that anthem of the infinite? The word, this infinity, is a very profound word. It sounds short, but it has its own depth very much, and it goes beyond its indicative meaning actually. From the very existence of these human beings in this body-bound soul, people thought about it, that even they coined the term infinity or infinite, Ashim, Ananta. They thought about that, am I this limited being only, limited by body and mind? And then from that ancient period, that seers of truth tried to interpret it in their way. Of course, the philosophers tried to see that. Philosophers in Sanskrit term is darshanik who sees. So they tried to see it and show it also to humanity in different ways. Artists, they tried to paint, sing, and imitate in different ways. And we can't forget mathematicians. Infinity is also the term, mathematical term. So they all different ways they have tried to define what the infinity is. They tried to hold on to infinity in various ways. And even if we forget about this scientist and mathematician or artist or seer of truth or philosophers, common people who are in this regular transactional day-to-day activities, suddenly we stop with some kind of shock or some overjoyed news makes us to think that am I just this limited being with this body and mind? Is there something beyond this body-mind complex that we regularly see, think about? That we don't exist only within this limited thing. Something there is vast, bigger in our thought, in our existence. And that's not limited. That's not with sorrow and grief. In Tagore's language is called Jibono Moronero Shimana Charaye. Jibon and Moron, the Shimana Charaye, beyond the boundary of life and death, there is something that is infinite, probably, but what it is infinite. So, sages tried to see that this hat and the seat of meditation tried to look within, and they tried to find that vastness inside. The knowers of the truth, they came to know the witness of every state of consciousness, that is pratibodha viditam. They said that it's a realization to be the witness, to realize that is the path of knowledge. They try to understand in that way. They say that they realize that there is an abiding sense of sorrow, fear, and supplication in our relationship with one another. Through discernment, they try to connect that personal anguish with the universal sorrow that pervades the whole world, and realize indeed there is nothing permanent for us. Yet, but some strange magic, nature continually keeps this truth hidden from us. And that is why we are able to engage in the affairs of the world with enthusiasm. In the presence of renunciation, the eternal truth, the pain of mortality, reveals itself. And what it tells us is nothing of that we know will remain, and that of all that will remain forever, we know nothing. So that's the part of the knower of the truth, try to look for what it is that infinite. Now, the thing is that devotee also thought that yes, it is true that this great sky, that pure clear sky is Nitya Mukta Shuddha Buddha, that is eternal, free, Mukta, Nitya Mukta Buddha is all knowledge and of course pure, the sky. Now that's our real nature, we understand. But that sky which is pure, it is free of all blemishes, it doesn't have any attribute, it doesn't have any qualities. How can I comprehend that? How can I hold in my heart? How can I feel for it? So there comes that qualities. They are thinking that it's all black, so far away. It might be the clear blue sky also, but so far away. How can I reach to that far away sky? So Gyanis taught one way, that is that great sky, that Mahakash is untouched, but it suddenly gets covered with beautiful black clouds, and that beautiful cloud is composed of tiny, tiny droplets of water, and each droplet, it reflects that wonderful blue sky. And that sky, that big sky that is Mahakash, on that foundation of that Mahakash, we see that Meghakash. And that beautiful Meghakash, which we can see on the mountain top, it comes down, we can try to hold on to it. That cloud flows away, we really can't hold, but we can feel that droplets of water in our hand. And that seeing God, that feeling God, that the touch of that infinite, that Mahakasha, we feel through that Meghakasha, that sky, the cloud sky. Now we, the individual being, that jivas, individual soul, in that big sky, like a picture we are sitting. It's truncated, limited with body, mind, and all this kind of ignorance, and thinking that I'm limited. That boundary is my personal ignorance, my avidya. That ignorance I'm capable of breaking. But if it is vacant, if there is nothing, then of course there is no question for me to feel that I am this, I am such and such. And there I need some reflection, that consciousness, some water in that picture. And that sky reflects in that water also, that big blue, vast blue sky. And that is that Jalakash, that is our mind, ego, our feeling, what is telling me, I am happy, I am unhappy, I am limited, I want to be free. And that song of that freedom is that the anthem of that infinite great sky, Mahakash. Now here, when we talk about this limitation, boundaries, it is very interesting to know that in that word, the etymologically, infinite, it's in, we know that it is known, and finish is that, or finitus, that from Latin, it means like that, end, limit, boundary. So, and also that finish is, it is getting over, get lost. We see in Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Arjuna, very clearly, Kaunteo, pratijanehe name bhakta pranashyati. So Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna, confirming, no, for sure, my devotee will never get lost. This means my devotee will never be finite, bound, and limited. And that me is that infinite, vast, big sky. So this limit, in the Vedas and the mathematically both, actually this concept of infinity, at the very earlier stage, mathematics was not very different from philosophy. Mathematics had a huge part from philosophy itself. So the philosophy, it presents both that the 6th century Brahmagupta and Bhaskaracharya too in 12th century, both of them, they have talked about infinity. So they tried to introduce the formal concept of finite or enumerable, that to be able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and innumerable, that is very large quantity, but still it is finite and infinite. They categorize 3 stages. And also, they tried to classify the multidimensional concept of infinity. Bhaskaracharya too, he had 2 books, one on algebra, that is Vijayanganita, and also Lilavati, that is the book on arithmetic. There he said, if 0 becomes multiplier and a number, then if you multiply with 0, then that number will turn to 0. He explained it. And when you have, the 0 is subtracted off or added in, because they have thought a lot about both 0 and infinity, that Purna and Shunya, that nothingness and fullness. So both, that how to deal with both of these mathematically, that all philosophy was working at the beginning. So they said, then they came to one concept, that 2 words they came to know. One is Kha Guna and Kha Hara. Kha means the sky. And so now Kha Guna, so when you multiply with that infinite, that's 0, that is 0. But when you divide it by the 0, Kha Hara, then you get the concept of infinity. That's what they said. And then they said that there is no change in this Kha Hara by adding or subtracting quantities. If you add, Kha Hara is somewhat similar to the concept of infinity. Now, if you add something to infinite, nothing will happen. If you subtract something from there, nothing will happen. And of course, they could not put that infinite, that symbol, they didn't write anywhere, because it's infinite. How can we put a symbol to put the infinite? So it will be limited then. So that kind of contradiction was there. Then ancient Greek mathematicians, they also tried to get that infinite, that boundless concept. And Archimedes especially, he worked with that. But to the formal introduction of symbol, they also didn't work with that. Then Arabic mathematicians, they significantly contributed in the development of mathematics during the Middle Ages and focused on the calculations of algebra and geometry and abstract concept of infinity, but it was not there until 16th century British scientist Wallis, he formally introduced that sign infinity. Why he selected that one, that unbounded or limitless, and the reason behind selecting that particular symbol of infinity is that it looks like that huge numeral, like we always say, no, thousands of people, means a big number. The 1,000 is symbolized by M in Roman. So that M, Roman, that one, it's somewhat similar to that infinity sign. And it's an open loop, so it's an open loop boundary, infinite. So that is how he selected that representation of that abstract, unbounded quantity with the never-ending loop. So in that, but in philosophically we come back again, that mathematics, how at the ancient time, how that they were trying to deal. In Vedanta, this term ananta, they say that infinite to describe is that Brahman. And Brahman is that ananta akhanda satchidananda. That is beginningless, endless, unbroken, absolute bliss, consciousness, and existence. So, to refer to this infinite non-dual reality, that was the goal of Vedanta. But it is difficult, it is, Vedanta treats in one way, and mathematically it is very difficult to do that, because Hilbert paradox, for example, they had that example that you have, suppose, infinite number of rooms in the hotel, and you have infinite numbers of guests, and then one more guest come, you add to that. So infinite will remain infinite. And that is infinite plus 1 is infinite. But there was some kind of contradiction was coming, because there was some problem to see it mathematically in the absolute sense. Because Sri Ramakrishna is telling the nature of Brahman cannot be described. About it, one remains silence. Who can explain the infinite in words? However high a bird may soar, there are regions higher still. And Swamiji is confirming that one. He says that can infinity have parts? What it meant by parts of infinity, if you reason it out, you will find that is impossible. Infinity cannot be divided. It always remains infinite. If it could be divided, each part would be infinite. And there cannot be two infinite. Suppose if there were two infinities, one would limit other and both would be finite. Now infinity can only be one undivided. Thus, the conclusion will be reached that the infinite is one and not many, and that one infinite soul is reflecting itself through thousands and thousands of mirrors, appearing as so many different souls. That is the same infinite soul, which is the background of the universe, that we call God. The same infinite soul also is the background of the human mind, which we call human soul. So that is what we were discussing just now, that Mahakash, that the background, in the background of the Meghakash, that God, what we call, with tiny, tiny, tiny droplets. And that is also the background of that truncated pitcher, which is holding the water and the reflection of the great sky. So here, that for this from knowledge point of view or mathematical point of view, we understand what it is. Now how to approach that? How do we what I'm going to do with this knowledge. Okay, there is a Mahakash and there is a background sky and all this great sky, vast sky and all this. So here Sri Ramakrishna and Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna helps us very nicely. He says that one day M and Sri Ramakrishna are talking. So Sri Ramakrishna asked him, again he previously taught him, and then he makes M to repeat, what did I tell you? So he said that M was telling that you explained the other day how God incarnates work in the earth, on earth. Now this is the thing, that how we are going to interact with that infinite. That Sri Ramakrishna's solution for the bhakta is that avatara, God incarnation. Someone has to come, that cloud has to come as the rain to touch us so that we can feel that. That I said that we hold the cloud, we can feel tangibly, that kind of feeling has to be there. Then Sri Ramakrishna is asking, tell me what I said. And then M said, you told us to imagine a field extending to the horizon and beyond. It extends without any obstruction, but we cannot see it on account of a wall in front of us. In that wall, there is a round hole. Through the hole, we see a part of that infinite field. Then Sri Ramakrishna is asking, tell me what the hole is. You are that hole. Through you can be seen everything that infinite may do without any end. So that is infinite, and that is how we can approach to that big, vast, infinite sky through avatara for bhaktas. So Gyanis can do reasoning, can think about that, I said, that renunciation and detachment, practice of, and discernment, that this is what we want, this is limiting me, there is something unlimited. This is I don't want, this is not what I want. Neti, neti, that is what I want to be vast. But for Sri Ramakrishna is telling that there is no contradiction, that infinite is there. Through that whole, through that avatara, that one can approach to that infinite, vast middle that Sri Ramakrishna is, that Brahman is. So, also like Sri Ramakrishna, next month we are going to celebrate Sri Krishna birthday. He is another incarnation of God, right? Like Sri Ramakrishna is saying that he is telling that Sri Krishna is also taking us to the same concept of that infinity and avatar, how to see, how to approach, how to hold on to that. So what it is, one way is to aim, Sri Ramakrishna is telling that through avatar you see. But is Sri Ramakrishna only avatar to see that infinite vast thing? No. Sri Krishna is telling very nicely. He said that, praising Krishna, Arjuna said, thou art Brahman absolute, that infinite one. Sri Krishna replied, follow me, and you will know whether or not I am Brahman absolute. So saying, Sri Krishna led Arjuna to a certain place and asked him what he saw there. I see a huge tree, said Arjuna, and on it I notice fruits hanging like clusters of blackberries. Then Krishna said to Arjuna, come nearer, and you will find that these are not clusters of blackberries, but clusters of innumerable Krishnas like me, hanging from the tree. In other words, divine incarnations without number appear and disappear on the tree of absolute Brahman. So that is how, from that vastness, one can approach that. We can approach through avatara, through the infinite. We can hold to that concept of infinite through. So now, Krishna, he has a flute in his hand, and in that flute, a devotee hears the music of infinite, the anthem of infinite. That's the freedom. That it talks about get free, come to me and be free. So it's that now he is calling, he is always calling. That call comes from within. If we are Jnani, we will say that call is coming from our inner side. If we are Bhakta, we see the flute playing the song and asking us, come, and calling us to come. And there is a very beautiful poem that one, Rabindranath Tagore wrote, and that says that, I am restless, a thirst for the far away. The days pass by, while lost in thought. I wait at the window, watching for thee. Oh, in heart and soul I yearn to feel thy touch someday. Oh, far away, immeasurably far, thou playest thy yearning flute. I have no wings. I must remain where I am. Yet I strive to forget that I am bound. I am distraught. Oh, far away, I am forlorn. In the languid hours, sun-drenched and still, when shadows dance beneath the whispering trees, some vision of thy form rises before my eyes in the blue of heaven. Oh, far away, I am forlorn. Oh, far away, immeasurably far, thou playest thy yearning flute. The door of my chambers are shut, yet I strive to forget that I am bound. That yearningness, that earnestness that I want to reach there. The main song is Ami Chanchalo He, Ami Shudurero Piyashi. যে ওগো সুদূর বিপুল সুদূর তুমি যে বাজাও ব্যাকুল বাঁশরি. যে infinite, you are so far away, but you are playing the flute of that is creating restlessness, yearning inside my heart. And I don't have wings. মোর ডানা নাই, I am here, আছি একটাই। সে কথা যে যাই বাঁশুরি, I forget about it, that I am limited, I am bound, I am already always shaken with that day-to-day sadness, joy, and all limitations. And then to forget about all this, and then I ran after that flute of Krishna. And that flute, that vast infinite is playing. That's its anthem, that anthem of freedom. Freedom is the song of soul. That one Swamiji said again and again. We have the freedom from our body. We have our freedom. We need to get freedom. We need to have freedom from body, from mind, from intellect, from ego. And then we reach to that unobstructed bliss and that joy, that infinite. And then in this body we know that we have that three states every day we face. We are waking up, we are going to sleep, we are going to deep sleep when nothing is functioning. We know that in that all these gross elements that made our body and all the subtle element that is composing our subtle body, giving us fear, anxiety, and freedom from it also. But beyond that, so if we again and again think about that, so it's not permanent. It's coming and going, again and again. I remember once wonderful example that Swami Ranganathananda gave when in his Vivek Chudamani, I listened to it online, that there is suppose a chair in a room and one person, three people are there, A, B, C. So these A, B, C, three people, they don't meet each other. They come to the room, sit in the chair, does something, work, and go, and the second person comes, goes, like it keeps on going. But the chair sees that the only one chair. So the three states are coming and going. So that none of these states are real. So he gave that one for us to feel that Shakshi. And now, how to give up on that? Next he gave that one better, even more wonderful example. When he joined, he was very young. He joined at this very early age, like 15, 16, before he completed his school. So when he joined, he was given a duty one day to take one money order to bank. And then he will give that money order to bring the money. So he didn't know much about it. And he just went, and the tailor asked him, he took that piece of paper and gave him another piece of paper with a number written to it. So he took the paper, went back and sat on the bench, and then waiting. Then suddenly some fear came to his mind, that, oh, I already gave that money order to that man's hand, and there is no proof in my hand that it had $25 money order. So Ranganathanandaji's younger time joined when the 15-year-old, and that time means many, many years ago, like says so many years. So then naturally $25 was good amount, rupees was good amount of money. So he was thinking, if they don't give the money to me, then what I will do, what I will sell to the Mahanta, to the head of the monastery. They gave me this job and I couldn't do that. So then he went to another person and said that I gave that money order to the tailor and he didn't give me the money. Rather, he gave me this number only. So what to do now? He was so he said that man said that, my boy, don't worry, you sit here. This piece of paper has no value, but this is called, don't lose that one, that is called token. When you go back to when this number, when it is called, you go to that window, give that number, and then they will give you the money. So this token, when you give it, you will get the real value. So this world, this limited one, that what we find every time, I'm finite, I'm bound, it has no value, but it has the value in the sense it's a token. As soon as we give up on this one, that, and then we get the real value, that is unlimited, infinite Brahman. So that is how to get rid of that cleaning the mind procedure. The mind has that problem with that. They say, as Patanjali Yoga Sutra says, that mala, vikshepa, and ajnana. Mala is that it is the impurities that comes from kind of desires. I want name, fame, this, that, all this kind of thing. Anything we do, we expect at least some thank you. Even if they don't give me thank you, if they don't criticize, I'm okay. I think like that, okay, I'm not expecting thank you. But what Premishananda told, I have heard it many times from our sadhus, that he told this to Swami Swanandaji, that it's not true that you are not expecting thank you means you really gave up on thank you. The moment somebody is criticizing, you feel sad. This means in the back of your mind you have the desire to hear good things. So if you don't hear good things, it makes you sad. This means you are expecting to hear good things. So that kind of mala, that is that impurity, that vasana, that goes away with the selfless action. That I don't want anything. I just want to do work for work's sake. What is this coming in front of me? And even better if I think like that I'm doing it for Sri Ramakrishna. So I'm done. So nothing to expect. Even if it's good, bad. Even if somebody kicks this frame, somebody puts a garland, nothing, doesn't matter. This is mala. Vikshepa is that it is a restlessness, not the positive sense, unrestful mind because of that kind of emotions and attachment. Or if I like someone, then someone is in trouble, then I won't be able to meditate peacefully, because every time mind will tell that, oh, what happened to that person. And jnana, the ajnana, the covering, that one is only be cleared by knowledge. So this is so that through this kind of practice, that body and then mind, the second sheet. The third is that intellect. Intellect is that always that where if there reflects, actually this mind and intellects are very important tools. Sri Ramakrishna said that Shuddha Mon, pure mind, pure intellect, and pure Brahman, pure consciousness are the same and one thing. So the intellect will get pure through meditation and prayer constantly. So meditation, prayer also clears the mind, vikshepa, as well as intellect, and sadhvaya, repeated practice, shravan, manan, nididhyasan, to listen to the scriptures or the holy company, listens from the teachers, and then to reflect on that in intellect. That continuous reflection of those teachings will clear the intellect. And of course, that reflection will mature in nididhyasan, that will help us to reflect that big, vast sky. But in the bottom line is that yearning to know or yearning to have God, to feel for that, to feel that pull. It can be only one way, it can be the mixed way. Sri Ramakrishna said, no, that Sri Ramakrishna's favorite sweet, it was what? Jalebi. He said that it was the viceroy cart. Even if he is full, if somebody offers jalebi, he would say that, okay. So that jalebi is our goal. Our goal is jalebi. Why? Because it is fried and it is soaked in syrup. So both it is knowledge and the devotion. Both are together, side by side to go. So that is why, because Sri Ramakrishna wouldn't say any single, even punctuation, uselessly. everything has some meaning. So when he is telling jalebi, then there must be some meaning of it. It cannot be just simple for the sake of eating. So that is probably the philosophy of jalebi. This is that our goal, that after that purification of mind and intellect, we go to that Anandamaya Kosha, that's still not Brahman, but it's almost closest one. There we feel the light, we feel the heat of that consciousness, that bliss, that joy that we feel when we are. But that last part, we have to wait for kripa, they call grace. No matter how much effort we put, at the final covering will go by that when that one is one day or the other, it will happen. It is bound to happen. We all will be free. We can be free Jivan Mukti at this life, here and now. If not, when the body is dropped, that is Videha Mukti. That subtle body has a little covering, who knows, it goes high up, and then at some point the covering will be removed. Or Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti is a gradual liberation. Gradually, one day, one will be liberated. But we have to keep on practicing to make our journey towards that infinite, because we are by nature infinite. We can't be happy with anything limited. Actually, truly speaking, if we think that we can't desire also anything other than infinite, because all these three things, Sat, Chit, Ananda, this what we are talking about, the qualities of Brahman, all our desires are limited by these three. Say suppose I want to have the desire for knowledge. I will be reading this book, this scripture, that scripture, I will have this PhD, that PhD, I will be having lawyer, engineer, doctors, all kind of 3 degrees in one life and all this. What is that? The desire for knowledge is Chit, knowledge, that consciousness, that knowledge part, Sat Chit. Now Sat, that I will stay in a big house, I will be staying in such and such island, and I will buy this, where? I will stay, I will remain. That is that Sat, that existence of the desire for existence, the desire for knowledge, the desire for existence, and then finally that, people will praise me, hours and hours to stand in front of mirror and to make the body beautiful, or to try to say that, am I being mobbed? If I'm not being mobbed, I'm not feeling good, like that. People cannot recognize me. Somebody is wearing sunglasses, so because I'm wearing sunglasses, people cannot recognize, to remove it and put it back and be different way. That what is that? Because of that, I want people to love me, and that will bring me joy, Ananda. So Sat, Chit, Ananda. So any desire, anything we are doing, any desire we are placing before our mind, everything is the highest level is that Brahman, is Sat, Chit, Ananda. It cannot be beyond these three. There cannot be the fourth one. It has to be only within these three, if we analyze. So, then if we analyze and think that if I want to have joy, why not the bliss absolute? If I want to have knowledge, then why not the knowledge absolute? If I want to stay here forever, because people are now doing the gene therapy and all this to have the long life, like that, because I want to stay forever, then why not existence absolute? So that helps us to break our boundary and go and meet and be dissolved in that one which is the infinite, that is our goal. And Swamiji is saying here, it's very beautifully he's saying, but this is the continuous practice. The poets and Rabindranath, for example, he says that I have only one, he wrote so many volumes of essays and poems and drama and all this. And then he, at the end, he said that all I think that in my whole life, I have only one thing I have written. একটি মাত্র পালা, সে পালার নাম দেওয়া যাইতে পারে সীমার মধ্যে অসীমের মিলন সাধনের পালা. It's the only one thing I have tried throughout my life. That is to have that infinite within this limited one. That's the one. That is the one only practice. And that is how that Swamiji, that it is beautifully Swamiji has put that one. You are infinite. Where can you go? The sun, the moon, and the whole universe are but drops in your transcendent nature. How can you be born or die? I never was born, never will be born. I never had father or mother, friends or foes. I am existence, knowledge, bliss absolute. I am He, I am He. So, what is the goal according to this philosophy? Swamiji is saying, perfection. That is always infinite. We are infinite already. You, I, and all beings are trying to manifest that infinite. That infinite is Brahman, that bliss absolute, and then that perfection absolute. And to come out of our limitation, to be free, that's the anthem of that infinite. And that is we are trying to do, and that is our relationship. Once this job is done, we are that. So we end our praise here. So I end with our closing prayer. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnameva Avashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. This is infinite. That is infinite. When infinite is taken from infinite, infinite only remains. Om, peace, peace, peace.
Thank you to Pravrajika Matriprana. She is a nun here at the Hollywood Convent. Pleased to let you know that this is her first Sunday talk. We look forward to hearing many more talks from her as the years go on. Next week, our speaker will be Swami Arupeshananda, and his topic, India 2.0. They've just returned from 2.5 months pilgrimage in India, so it should be a inspiring and knowing the Swami, humorous description of his experiences. You'll go to the living room.
Yeah.
After the talk, Pravrajika Matriprana will go to the greenhouse living room next to the bookshop.